Hello and welcome to my channel. It's great that you're here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something with textures. Now, I've been exploring a lot of different methods using all kinds of different texture, but the most particular one is a universal paste. It's what you fill the cracks in on the wall at home, and I've been really experimenting with this to do, to see what will happen. And as I was playing, if you see this picture here on the wall, I was just putting a whole load of paste on there and mixing it with some colour. And I had some over, so I thought I'll just take it off on another canvas. And this is what came up, which they're like figures. So I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to show you what I'm going to do with this? And really you can do tremendous amounts of things with this kind of texture, making it really thick, making it really thin, adding colour to it, doing all, fascinating, incredible things, which I think, after this video, I'm going to show you some other things that I'm working on, because I have an exhibition in October, so I want to get a few things together for that. And I haven't actually been on YouTube for a little while because I've been running a retreat, and it's been fantastic. It was for a week in May. If you want to see the highlight video, which is really good fun, then I'll leave the link below in the description. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get started now with this. But again, welcome to the channel. And, if you enjoy this video and you want more tutorials, then do give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I usually bring out a video every week. It's just I've missed a few because I've been so busy with the retreat. But all different kinds of things. If you're passionate about learning about abstract painting and all the different things that you can do, I can help you. So let's get started with this and see what is going to happen. So I've just got a limited palette for this. I've got some yellow ochre, some brown, some primary blue, some phthalo blue, black and white. And that's going to be like a start to give me a foundation. When I put this on, I'd already painted it orange, which is lovely because it's a nice warm colour. Maybe some of that will come through as I go, but I'm not worried if it does or if it doesn't. And I'm going to use a sponge to start with, just to get the layers going a bit quicker. And this is something that I would really advise you do. If you want to kind of get the layers going. And, if you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I love layers because it gives, painting some depth and some interest. And, when you're doing different things with the layers, they come through when you're, doing the next one. And it's very interesting. So I'm going to just damp the sponge a bit and get started. So I've put a few colours on the sponge and I'm just going to mix them together on here and see how that kind of works on the, working it together, because I'll get some nice colour combinations. And you see how quickly it goes on. You don't have to take so much time on doing it. So that's kind of some interesting colour to start with, and I love the texture that's coming here. So I've speeded this up a little bit just to cut the time down because it took quite a while to actually do the picture, and to watch it from start to finish you'd be here for a couple of days. So I don't think you've got that much time, so I've speeded it up a bit. So you can see that using the sponge really is very effective if you want to get your first layers down and, you know, mixing the paint on the sponge, you can get some really nice effects and, you know, different blends of the colours, which always adds a lot of interest to a painting. So, oh, it's lovely to be back painting again. I've had a bit, you know, this gap because I've been so preoccupied with all the other things going on, and I really miss it when I can't paint. And so it's great to have some time just to, you know, get in the zone and be creative. And you know what's kind of so interesting about you know, doing this kind of picture, I had no preconceived ideas when I was just putting the paste on this canvas to use what I had left. And, you know, then it gives you a prompt to get started. And actually, as I go, you know, and I think you'll probably notice this too. In fact, I'm sure you will, that, you know, ideas come into your mind. Oh, what would happen if I do this? And what would happen if I do that? And this is a really good way to just let yourself flow into a painting and really kind of be involved and be connected with it. That's what I feel is so important about, you know, doing this kind of creative painting, that you get in touch with something within yourself, and you know, something comes out that is so unexpected. And I think that's absolutely amazing. It always amazes me that you've got this kind of white piece of paper or canvas in front of you, and then you do a few things with it and a few more things, and then something unfolds. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it's so magical and surprising. You know, even at the early stages, you can be thinking about your lights and darks, your values. If you're not sure what values are, it's the difference in the lights and the darks of your colours. And you want to kind of build up your differences in values. So you've got some nice contrasts of lights and darks and texture. Obviously, I've got this texture on the canvas already with the paste, so I've already got some interest there. But that doesn't mean to say I can't build up the texture that I'm painting. So I'm using here a baby wipe. I like using baby wipes because, you know, they can be really effective with many different things. And I would really recommend experimenting with it, because you can put paint on with it, you can blend paint with it, you can take paint off with it. You can do a number of different things with baby wipes. So I always have some around in the studio because you know, they're really useful and different and good for different effects. And sometimes, you know, if you want to rub something out without painting over it or blend something together, you know, they really work very well. So I just get them from the supermarket, and I think the manufacturers would be surprised at what they can be used for. Little did they know when they were making them that we could use them in painting. But there you go. So this is now taking a bit of shape with these layers and outlining some of the shapes that I've got with the paste, and you know, feeling my way as to how I want this underlayer to be. And I do recommend using a limited palette because it's less confusing to start with. I'm turning this round and doing some darker things which will be on the bottom, just to look at again where my darks are going to be, where the lights are going to be. And we, you know, start thinking, not at this stage really thinking about composition, really at this stage it's just getting down the lights and the darks, and you're underpainting. And you know, it can go through so many different phases. And you know, a lot of students when I'm teaching will say to me, you know, it gets to a place where it gets a little bit chaotic and messy, and that is not the time to give up. That's the time to move forward. And you know, you can be a bit nervous about it, you know, going a bit haywire, but that's kind of part of the excitement of painting, because you can develop it. And if you keep yourself in the zone and just allow yourself to flow into it, it will arrive at what needs to be done, sorry. And it, you know, it'll come to you if you let it. You don't really want to overthink it. And I think that's one of the challenges that, particularly if you're just starting painting, is to overthink, and it should be this, or it must be that, or it ought to be the other. I throw all those three words out because nobody says it should, must, or ought be anything other than it is, and what it feels like to you, and how you feel about the process and what you're expressing. I'll tell you now that how this turns out has really fascinated me, and brought up some interesting things that have been in the back of my mind. And after a family reunion, sadly, one of my relatives died, and one of the lovely things about his funeral was that, you know, as a family, we all got together, and we live all over the place in different parts of the world. I live in Spain, and some of them live in the States and Italy and all over the place. So everybody came together, and we were in the UK, I should say. And it was a, you know, wonderful celebration of my uncle's life. And it was wonderful to see all the family again. And I think about this painting, as you'll see, it grows, how that's reflected, and my feelings about it. And one of my nieces has just adopted a new baby. And here in the picture, there's one of these figures holding a baby. Isn't that amazing? You know, when you think about it's just intuitive. I didn't kind of plan this in any way at all. And these things come up, you know, from the depth of your soul and give you something really fantastic. So you'll see that as the painting unfolds. Right, let's get back to that. I'm using some different brushes. Mainly, I've got a collection of small gesso brushes, as well as some finer brushes, and obviously my tissues and the sponge and the baby wipes. And those are really at the moment only the only tools that I'm using. I also use my fingers, as you can see here. There's nothing like using your own fingers as the best tools possible. But defining some of the shapes now and seeing how they will be positioned, you know, with the colour and the composition of the painting. You know, as you are, you know, doing your painting, really to keep in mind as much as you can, and I know it's quite challenging when you first start painting, is to have the principles of different size shapes, your color values, your contrasts, and then your composition. So whatever kind of painting that you're doing, those principles apply. Now, if you are just kind of starting off and you're investigating, you know, different ways of doing abstract painting, I do have a free mini course which helps you understand these principles a little bit more. and I'll leave the description for that in the box below. I'll leave the details of that in the description below, and certainly go and have a go with it, because you'll find it, very helpful. I go through it very specifically to help you start a painting, develop your layers, and really ingrain into your brain those principles. Where are your color contrasts, your color values, your shapes, and then your composition. And there's many different ways of looking at composition, but when you're thinking about it, what you need to be thinking about is, where does your eye go to in a painting? Are you sort of in the journey of the painting, or is it taking you out? Is it distracting you out of the painting? So it's important to really get to grips with understanding how the composition works. And you can develop that by having focal points in your painting. You can have 1, 2, as many as you like, as long as it's not too busy. But where your eye will land on a painting, this is what kind of composition is all about, is how you're looking at it, or how the viewer is looking at it, and how to keep their interest in it. And I'll talk about this a little bit later as we go. So I've had a break from the painting overnight, and I've come back to it today, and it's a lovely kind of first layer. So now I'm going to start building on it. I've decided to add some more colour. So what I've done here with my palette, I've added some blue, I've added some cadmium red, some teal, orange and yellow. So it's going to go a bit brighter. So I'm going to carry on and see where the next stage takes us. So I was, talking before about the composition, and the thing I wanted to add to that was having your emotion in the painting, how it feels. We paint because it feels great, and it gives us a sense of satisfaction. Sometimes I agree, it can give us a sense of frustration, but mainly, we do it because of the joy that it brings us and the satisfaction that we get from it. And that's our feeling state. And if we want that feeling state to transmit to the viewer, then the more you stay in the zone and authentic to that, the better it will be. And the more satisfied you will feel, and, the feedback that you will get will be great, because people feel something about the painting. And as particularly when you're doing, intuitive painting, don't be surprised at what comes up, and go with that flow. Everything is valid, no matter what you do or what stage you're at. The thing that really is to be developed is just the skills to know how you can put the painting together. So the things that we've been talking about, which is, again, the values and the contrasts, the differences in shapes and the composition. Those are the things, the skills that you need to learn. Everything else is about letting go and really, in a way, de-learning. Stopping the thinking from interfering with you actually doing the painting. And for me, that's the most challenging thing, is to not think, is to stay with it, to stay with the feeling and see what happens, without any preconceived ideas or judgment. We're very quick to judge if we're not careful with ourselves, and we can be our own worst enemy at that level. So let's have a look now where this is going with this layer. obviously now it's building up and increasing some depth in the picture. This looks as if it's black, and actually it's not. It's a mixture of the different blues and the black and some of the yellow ochre, sometimes a bit of red. As you'll see when I start putting the colour on, in order to keep the colours in harmony with each other, you mix some of them together so you keep a harmony with the colour palette. And as I go, you'll see what I mean. So I hope you're enjoying this so far, and you're finding it interesting and helpful, and something that you'll be able to use in your own painting, so you can really go to town and feel confident and happy with what you're doing. You know, basically I'm just layering and layering and layering till it gets to feel right. So we're back to feeling again. Can't avoid it, actually. So I'm going to put a little bit of music on for a short time, just while I carry on the process, and then I'll come back to you again shortly. So now I'm going to add some of the colour, and I've got in mind to use these oranges and reds and be mixing those together. And again, this is a great way of blending as you go, by putting the colours on and then mixing them on the actual canvas. So you can see just by putting that on how much suddenly the painting comes alive, and it becomes now a little bit more exciting to see the development and where it will go from here. So now you'll see what I'm doing is putting some of this colour into the background. Now this helps with balancing a painting up, and you'll notice me doing that quite a lot. And again, it's something for you to adapt into your own work, is that when you're using the colours, in order to harmonise them, if you're using them in one part, add it to another, maybe in a different tone, maybe a bit lighter or a bit darker, so you get that natural harmony into the painting. I've mixed here some of the red and the blue to make a violet. I thought that would be, a nice addition to the red and the orange. And again, I put quite a lot of that into the background. So carrying on, I've added a little bit of magenta to this. I've got some another colour into here, and thought that would be, again, nice mixed with some of the red, some of the orange, but to give a bit of a contrasting colour to the other two orange-red figures. And just really blending all these different colours together actually on the canvas, and seeing where it wants to take me, really. So this, you know, I'm just continuing on this vein now to add the different tones of colour, adding a little bit of white to make it lighter, giving it a tint, or going darker, maybe mixing a little bit of blue with it to add some tone. And you can see that it's taking shape now. So now I've got really the foundation in of the colours, and I'm going to spend some time now on a little bit more of the details. And you know, this is the time. It takes a lot of time to you know, really go into it now. So I've speeded it up again, and I'll fast forward it a little bit because it is a long process. It's probably a couple of hours, so I don't want to keep you here all that time. So you'll see it really coming to shape quickly as I increase the speed on it, and I'll come back to you again soon. So I hope you're enjoying seeing this whole process and how this painting's coming together and these figures being formed. And certainly it's fascinating me seeing how, this is working and coming together, having had no preconceived ideas whatsoever. But I'm certainly enjoying it and getting something from it, and experimenting with how these colours are going together. You'll see I've added a little bit of green and complementary to the red, and the purple complementary to the yellow. Again, bringing in the complementary colours is always adds a nice contrast. And adding some of the colours, as I was mentioning earlier on, into the background to bring some continuity into the painting. So yeah, it's really enjoyable. I'm enjoying myself. I hope you're enjoying watching it, and getting something from it that you can, ways that you can use the paint and blend the different colors together, and leaving it in between times. I've put it all together as one video, but I do spend time in between to look at it, stand back from it, take photographs of it, see what it looks like on the camera, because when you're so on top of a painting, sometimes you can't see how the contrasts are going and your color values, and standing back and looking at it, taking a break and then taking a photograph of it is really, really helpful. And putting it into black and white really shows you how to look at the contrasts and the values. So yeah, another figure is appearing here at the side, which I'm putting in, and adding again to the composition of it. I love this turquoise teal person there. She looks as if she's dancing. And yeah, it's an interesting painting for sure. So whilst we're still here doing some finishing touches, I hope you'll go and have a look at the link of the retreat. We've got a fabulous fun video of how we spent the week, and I've actually got another one happening in September with a few spaces left. So you never know, I might meet you in person in Spain. You might come over and enjoy a week of painting, and I've got another teacher coming who's going to do some Tai Chi, which I'm very excited about, and some yoga and some different activities. She's also an aromatherapist and does all kinds of interesting things. So we've joined forces for this next retreat in September. So if you fancy a trip to Spain, to the beautiful Andalusia, then you never know. So all the information is below in the description. Just go and check it out, have a look, because it's very exciting, and a really great week we had. And some people came from California, somebody from Canada, some people from Finland. So it's very international, and we had a fantastic time. So this is nearly there now. I'm kind of getting to a stage where, I'm still adding things, but I feel as if I'm nearing to maybe not finishing it completely, but certainly very close to it. I then will leave it for probably a couple of days and come back and see how I feel, what I might have missed, because when you're on top of it all the time, it's kind of difficult to see it objectively and see how the composition is working, how the colours are working, what's kind of blended in, what hasn't. And no one's in a rush. with a painting, and sometimes they can be sitting around for a while, and then you look at it and think, oh, you know what, I just need to do that. And in actual fact, it is what happens with this. When I finish it here on the video, I do leave it for a little while and come back and do a few corrections, and I'll put a photograph of that up as when it's completed. I won't let you sit here for another day watching. Yeah, it's been a nice painting to do and got me back into my creative zone, which is always a great place to be, and enjoying it. So I'm just doing some sort of finishing touches, stepping back, having a look at it, seeing how I feel, and yeah, a nice project. And here's the finished painting. Not as much texture on the photograph, but it gives you the idea. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at the process, watching the process, and I'd be really interested to hear what you think, what's coming across to you, and do let me know in the comments. And if you've got any questions, obviously leave them in the comments below. I always answer everything. So, and you know, again, if you enjoyed the video, do give me the thumbs up and subscribe. That would be fantastic. It really helps me boost the video to more people. And, you know, a reminder that if you want to see the highlights of the retreat, which is really worth watching, the link is below. And, you know, the free mini course, which I mentioned earlier on, you can get access to that too in the description. So hopefully see you again soon. Have a great time painting, and take care. Bye for now.